Hey folks, welcome back to the Carlos Cruz Show. So today I'm going to talk to you about another experience working as a security guard at a truck stop. So one particular day, I get a visit from the director of the security company. He comes in, tells me how I'm doing a great job, and that I'm always on it, and et cetera, et cetera. We even belong to the same fraternity, whatever. Really great guy, awesome, great experience. And he'd offered me the position of supervisor. And the condition was I would have to do 5 days a week there, and mix it up and just sort of manage everything. And at the time I was doing 3 days a week, 12 days. 3 days a week, 12 hours a day, which is really tough, 5 a.m. and getting off at 5 p.m. And I didn't want to do 5 days a week, 12-hour shifts. I just thought it was a little overkill, So, I turned it down. And, I don't regret it. I've had the experience of working in leadership before, I just didn't feel like it, at that time. So what ended up happening was they had a new employee who was working with me, and everything and stuff. Black guy, really, I didn't think, we got along, and I didn't think anything of it, I showed him how everything works there, et cetera, et cetera. So then he told me, he says he got the job, security, whatever, and so I'm working, and he's doing these things, and he's making these changes, and I was like, okay, sure. Hey, you're the boss, whatever, go ahead. So I did my job day in, day out, as it usually does. So then one day I come in to my post, and it turns out he was actually not allowed to work at the truck stop anymore. And basically, and I was really shocked at that. I was like, wait a second, why is he not working at the truck stop anymore, And, for that whole day, I was like, I was like, what, it's a cool guy, we got along, and I never heard anyone say anything sort of bad about him, But as it turns out, there was two things going on when I was working there, that he was doing. He created conflict, and I didn't know that even he was creating that conflict. So the head store manager, he had issues with the way he was doing the job, and didn't like the way he talked to him, et cetera, and I didn't really know what was going on, because sometimes we work different days, so there are times where I didn't really see him, he didn't like the store manager's management style, and he wanted to change some stuff, and it just wasn't happening. Also, one of the employees at the truck stop came to me, unbeknownst, and told me that supervisor had a problem with me. And I'm thinking to myself, why do you have a problem with me? I never talked bad about the guy. I never had an issue with him. I didn't even complain to him. I never, we even had a couple laughs about things, So I was really confused. So I'm like, why would he have a problem with me? Well, I never did anything to the guy, and so then the employee told me that he had a problem. One of the reasons he had a problem with me because he wanted my schedule, and I wouldn't give up my schedule. I liked the way it was. I worked 3 days there, at the truck stop, 12-hour shifts, and then I have 4 days off, because I didn't want to do more 3 days. It was was very, very taxing, to say the least. And I'm thinking, this person's a person of color, this black guy. Everything's cool and all that kind of stuff. But the dude never liked me, which is crazy. And he tried to take my schedule. And so the store manager was like, no, I want Carlos there in those days. And he also tried to get me fired, which I didn't realize that too. I don't work there anymore. When I quit, it was so weird because like everyone was so shocked I'm leaving, and they told me that I did a good job. And honestly, literally, I put my life on the line doing that. I had to wear like ballistics protection. Ballistics mean bullets, and so stuff's gonna help protect me from bullets and stuff like that in case I get into that sort of conflict. That really, really shocked me, So it really goes to show you that you never know who, the enemy is, And every time I went to the truck stop, I had to be there 5 a.m. I always prayed to God, like, God, please protect me mentally, spiritually, physically, protect me from witchcraft, and I was pray for like my wife, my son, my whole family, poor people, all that kind of stuff. Pray for the people in the street, all these type of things, because it can get really crazy out there, I thank God that I made it through all that. It was a really difficult time because I was laid off from my computer job because I'm an IT person. Most of my career has been, but you had to take things, and luckily I had good friends and all that good stuff. But yeah, so that was crazy. That was the snake in the grass. That crazy. That person had it out for me when I didn't wish any harm on this person. And that's crazy how life worked out, and he ended up firing himself. Wow, that was really, really crazy. Really told me something too, is really stay prayed up, watch my P's and Q's, be grateful for what I have, even though, it's not like six figures or whatever, just be grateful for what you have, and treat people the correct way. Treat people the correct way, okay? It's very, very, very important. Treat people with respect, don't do shysty things like that. All right, folks, thank you for listening to me. Hope everybody's well. And what is today? Today is the 23rd of March. I got a birthday coming up in April. Wow, it's crazy. But thanks for listening, and everyone be safe. Bye-bye.